Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to an episode of Storytime with the Scaryish podcast.
Woo!
Where Adam is holding his phone camera.
I am. I'm doing a vlog thing like I said I was going to do, and we are currently live about to read some stories called Homegrown Horrors. Robin, tell me, what's a homegrown horror?
So homegrown horrors are the tales of supernatural, paranormal, possibly spiritual experiences that you, your family, your friends have had, and you guys take the time out of your day to share it with us, and we get to share it with the rest of the spooky friends, so it's pretty cool.
Indeed. And if you have a story like that you would like to share with us, please email storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scaryishpodcast and join us with our Spooky Friends group, or message us directly if you want to share your story with us. You can let us know whether or not you want it to be shared with the audience, or just telling us to, like, I don't know, have an ear to bend? I don't know what the expression is for that. But if you just want to tell us and you don't want it shared, just let us know. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter @ScarishPod or Instagram @ScarishPodcast. However you feel most comfortable. We want to hear your stories. We have 4 we're going to be covering this evening. 1 really long, 2 mediums, and 1 kind of short. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I'm not surprised. So, let me go ahead and get everything ready here. The first story that we have this evening came to us on Facebook from someone named Casey. And it starts out...
Hello, Casey.
Hello, Casey. It starts out like this. Holy hell, just listen to y'all's episode on reincarnation. In the beginning, it started off with a story about the moth. Well, I have 2 stories about that. First one, my father passed away in 2016. Very suddenly, no reason or explanation. One day he just got up and died. He had an aortic aneurysm, which I think is in the heart. No kidding, though. 2 weeks before that, I had a dream that we were walking up some steps and my dad fell, and when I looked down, I knew that he was gone. That dream shook me and scared the living shit out of me, because losing my dad was such an impossible thought that I didn't know, and still sometimes don't know, how to process it. Well, 2 weeks go by, and then my father does pass away.
That's so sad. It's like...
terrifyingly sad.
Oh, man. I do not ever want to have dreams of anything like that happening, because it would just be traumatizing. And then, if it came true, I'd be like, I am cursed. And
yeah, you just really feel... I don't want to say, like... broken. You just, honestly, everyone I think feels broken when you lose someone that close to you, but when you like have that premonition of it, it also scares you. So I'm gonna get back to the email.
Wait, hold on, my chair is really low.
Well, 2 weeks go by, and then my father does pass away. We were having to clean out his shed so we could sell. This giant green moth fluttered out of the shed and landed on my boot. It just kind of sat there for a while, then went on its way. But in that moment, when it sat on my foot, no kidding, I felt in my soul that everything was going to be okay. I knew that no matter what, I was going to survive this, because at that time, it was a very dark place for me.
I can't even imagine
how much that moth story that we told so long ago, because that's like one of the first episodes that we did,
it's one of my
with you.
friends, Iris.
Yeah. So I'm glad you sent this in. It's not over, though. It goes on to say, and one more separate thing, I sleepwalk and talk when I'm super stressed out. When I was about 9, I would have these very intense dreams that I was in the Holocaust. I was with my family trying to run from these people running after us. I saw the stars, I saw the train, but all I knew is I had to get away to survive. Well, turns out in real life, I was actually running through the house screaming, "We have to get away," while being asleep.
Oh my god. I'm sure your family was just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that would be terrifying. Because at first, you might actually think that you're running from someone and be like, who are we running from? Be more specific. It goes on to say, sorry for the horrible grammar. I just had to get all these thoughts out while they are fresh in my brain. You can read it if you want. You don't have to. Just have to get the stories out. This is a great podcast. Keep doing what you do, and thank you all for being the beacon to my weirdness.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much. And
thank you
so
for
much
being
for
a part of our
in.
weirdness.
Absolutely. We have a lot of weirdos, but I also think our weirdos are like the coolest people on the planet. Yeah. So it's been really, really awesome to go out there. I mean, we talked about it the last episode, but we got to meet Cat Beatrix, which has been like, I don't know, it was super exciting to finally put a face to a name and see someone in person. And
we are super awkward in person.
I feel like we disappoint every single person that we meet, but hey, like that's just us.
And it's funny because we're just normal people, you know, and it's just, I don't know, meeting people is so cool, and it's just like making a whole bunch of new friends. It's the
opposite, I feel like, for all of you. Like, we're all excited to meet new friends, and I think you guys are like, ugh, like, you guys are normal, boring people. So, thank you so much for sending that in, and if you have any stories that kind of trigger in your head, I sincerely think you should send them in. If you're comfortable sharing them, we definitely want to hear them. Again, email storytime@scaryish.com.
Are you sweating? I'm sweating.
No. You had to run up and down the stairs, though, because you wait till the last minute to get stuff ready for the show every week. As is documented in the making of Scaryish, which will be up on YouTube hopefully in the next couple weeks. I have a lot to edit. So,
I gotta send you my one clip that I have.
Yeah, the one clip she did. After we talked about how we were going to vlog together, I wound up doing like the entire thing. And I asked her to do one because I was driving. And I think that's the only one Robin's in.
No, the one that I have is not of us driving.
Then I don't even know what it was.
I'm standing in a room.
So, fun stuff.
All right. So, this email here is from Adrian, and it's titled Sleep Paralysis.
So we know what we're getting into.
Yeah. It goes, "Hey guys, my name's Adrian Mondragon."
Yo, Adrian.
Last of the Mondragons.
I was going to say, that's a pretty badass name, Adrian Mondragon.
And I'm from Nampa, Idaho. First off, I'd like to say I love the podcast and appreciate everything you guys do with letting everyone know people's personal encounters and stories with the paranormal. My story begins about 6 years ago in 2013. This is from 2019. In 2013...
It's from December. We're catching up, y'all. So you better send your stuff in right meow, because we're going to be catching up really quick.
In 2013, I was living home alone at the same... I don't know what... Hold on.
She does this thing where she does predictive text with her eyes, where she starts to read stuff that's not there and has to backtrack.
In 2013, I was living home alone at the time, and the day started out like any other. Woke up, went to work, and came home. I'd also like to say that I'm familiar with the concept of sleep paralysis and how most people will encounter one of several entities: the Hat Man, Old Hag, or some type of shadow being. My encounter was slightly different. It started a few hours after I fell asleep. I would say around 3 a.m., I began to hear sounds, like something running up and down the stairs of my apartment. It sounded different, though, like whatever was running up and down was either small like a child or very lightweight.
I don't know if that's more terrifying or less terrifying, to be honest with you.
It was at that moment that I began to feel the typical symptoms of sleep paralysis. My body was frozen and restrained, and I could feel the overwhelming sense of evil. Whatever was coming up the stairs was here now, and I could hear it open my bedroom door. Lock that shit. Although I could not see what had entered, I could sense its presence as it came closer and walked along the side of my bed. In an instant, the being leapt onto my chest and grabbed my head with its bony little hands. Upon grabbing me, it thrusted my head back, and I could feel my neck bend, and in a very clear but whisper-like voice, it said, "Possess the mind." It was only moments later that the being dissipated, and I came back to reality.
What the fuck? The only thing that thing could have said that wouldn't have freaked me out is "hack the planet," because I would have just started screaming "hack the planet." If you've never seen Hackers, you don't get it. If you have, you're probably yelling "hack the planet" wherever you're at right now.
What the F? Contemplating what had just attacked me. Was it a demon, an apparition, or what? I just felt drained and spooked. A few seconds later, I felt the feeling come back to my body, and I sat up, trying to make sense of what happened. I remember closing my bedroom door before bed, and it was open now. Anyway, that was the unpleasant experience with the paranormal. Thanks again for all that you do, Adrian. Thank you so much for sending that in. I'm very thankful that we have a doggy gate.
Right.
At our bedroom
open
door.
That shit.
Yeah, try to open that in the middle of the night.
Corporeal human beings struggle to open our doggy gate. It's a pain.
Choked on dick over there.
Fuck you, bro.
Yeah, it's a...
I have to finish my sentence because I have to edit it back together. Hang on. Pain in the balls to get that thing open. Right, Robin?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's noisy, so just trying to press down the button and pull up the other thing, it's like rattle, 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 rattle. It's
I
awful.
opened it as quietly as possible, and one day she was like, I was telling her, like, in the morning, like, here's my routine. She's like, yeah, I know. You slam the fucking dog gate every morning when you wake up. It's like, I don't even close the dog gate. Like, what you're hearing is me trying to open the goddamn thing. So I, like, open it in towards myself and then pull it so it's, like, kind of closed, because the dog that's smart enough to, like, open it with her paw is still locked up in her cage that she sleeps in every night voluntarily. So, yeah, just saying, that thing's fucking noisy and I hate it.
Thank you so much, Ashley Meow Meow, for donating 100 bits.
Thank you so much. Ashley Meow Meow is now our stream boss with 1,000 HP, y'all. What's up? She is king of the mountain. Take her down. Also, Ashley Meow Meow, any bits that you donate, anything you donate, will heal you. Just saying.
How come we didn't hear anything?
Because under 300 bits doesn't give us an alert. It'll still let us know that bits were donated, and the bar will still react to the bits.
Okay.
But 300 bits is supposed to be for, like, popping stuff up, just because that was the default setting, and I never lowered it.
All right. I'm just thankful we have a gate, and any ghost trying to come in, making me have sleep paralysis, gotta work through that shit first.
I mean, they'll probably step over it if they're spooky enough, or just walk through it if they're a ghost.
Yeah, that's true.
I
hope they're like giraffes, though, and they're scared to walk over.
That's so funny. That's true. If you don't know that. Giraffes are scared to walk over.
Do not. So if you go to the zoo, they have giraffes behind these walls that are just...
4 feet?
They're not even as tall as a person.
You could get over it.
You can get over it.
Easily. Which they ask you not to.
Giraffes just don't want to step over it because...
They're so tall.
They don't
want to lose their balance because their head would fall so far.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cute finding that out. I don't know. If they're giraffe ghosts, they won't get it.
You know, if a giraffe were to drink a cup of coffee, by the time it got to their stomach, it would be cold?
I fucking hate you.
You probably never thought about that. No, you know why? Because you only think about yourself. That's why, Robin.
Stop stealing memes.
I did totally just steal a meme
stupid.
to insult Robin with it.
All right.
Good stuff. Thank you for sending it in one more time. And please, folks, send us your experiences. We're not here to judge. We are here to share them. All right. Moving on to the next email, which is my second, my final, and the third and second to last of the show. Holy shit, that was a lot of stuff that just came out of my mouth. This one's subject is Demons in the Doorway and Corner. Kind of scary. Starts out like this. Hello, Robin and Adam. In all caps, says, I am sorry I forgot you. Please don't hate me. Upside down smiley face.
It's funny.
I believe this is a follow-up email from someone who emailed previously and forgot me entirely. I have some more creepy stories to share. She ignores me and forgets me literally constantly.
I almost did it in Japan once.
Yeah. I was just like, I need an adult. I just started screaming and crying. I have some more creepy stories to share, one of which happened last week, and the prank saga continues. Ooh, prank sagas are always fun. When I was around 8, my sister had a trundle bed, in parentheses, only 2 mattresses, Adam, in the corner of her room. Because our birthday was coming up and we wanted to celebrate, we snuck a bag of chips, some cream cheese, and a bag of strawberries into her room. It was smaller than my room, and, creep alert, there were full-size masks on the walls and a few dolls.
What kind of masks?
I don't know. It says, that doesn't play into the story. I just wanted to spook Robin.
Oh, okay.
You made her inquisitive. She's becoming more steadfast after reading, 1,000 emails from you folks.
Yeah, we read a lot. It just reminds me of my older sister when we were younger. She would have candy in her drawers.
That's funny. Goes on to say, we stayed up way too late and ate way too much. Soon I began to drift off to sleep. I had a dream I couldn't remember, and then I woke up. My eyes were drawn to the corner, and I saw what looked like a morbidly obese kid with a lollipop transforming into a goblin.
Sounds like someone's watched too much, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Alice in Wonderland type shit.
It's definitely weird. I watched in horror as his skin turned acid green, and he grew warts and pus oozed out of his face. I was
yummy.
terrified just looking at him. Fear turned to dread when he turned and looked right at me and began to slowly lumber towards me. I tried to scream or shake, but neither succeeded. Then I felt a crushing weight on my chest. The only thing I could do was cry. He began laughing and wouldn't stop. After a while, I began to wake up, but the last thing I heard haunts me to this day, quote, I'll be back for you.
You'll float too.
I think I'll be back for you is slightly more terrifying. If you can get away from you'll float too, you don't have to worry about it, but I'll be back for you means it's going to come back for you. Which is just spooky shit.
Do you think you could run away and then it would never find you?
I'm pretty sure they're in sleep paralysis, so there's nothing you can do. If it finds you, then there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
All right, next story is about my new house. We are currently building a house and finishing it. It is a pretty sizable house at 4 beds, 3 baths, and 3 stories. There is no flooring put down yet, and the stairs are hardwood. So it will be hard to walk down the stairs or open any doors without making noise, and most entrance doors had blocks of heavy wood against them to keep them shut from the wind. One night, I decided to lay out in the field to the left of the house. Bad choice. After about 5 minutes, something felt wrong, and the wind began to howl ferociously. One of the doors swung inward and then slammed shut. Okay, I thought, it's just the wind. Wrong. It happened 3 more times, and I could make out an ethereal shadow that I felt was ominously looking at me. I began to nope the duck out of there. I was warned by Spooky Mom to just read through it. I began to nope the duck out of there. Did I mention this door was a story above ground with no deck and no way to get up there without climbing unless you're a spirit?
No ducking way.
Because they say, duck physics, who needs that? I then began to walk into, right, quack, quack. I then began to walk into my temporary room, and the wind whistled through the house, and I could have sworn I heard the word run. I got so freaked out, and my neighbors probably think I'm crazy, because I ran to my room, I raised up 2 duck ewes, and began saying, not today, Satan. Not too freaking day.
I feel like I wouldn't have... If I legitimately got scared and was running away from something, I would not have the balls to be like, not today, Satan.
I think some people are scared and angry simultaneously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're just covered in fear, I don't think you have, like, funny quips that come out.
Yeah.
But some people have a little bit of anger in there, too. As I got my room door... What?
I'm just thinking about Hot Fuzz now, because he distracts Lurch with the teddy bear and hits him with the peace, or says playtime's over, and then hits him with the peace lily. Oh my god. Sorry.
She's
Go
just
on.
planning out all her quips for all the different variations of things that could happen to her in her life right now. As I got to my room door, which is parallel to the front door of the new house, I looked behind me at the front door. A shadow moved inside. My curiosity asked, what would happen if I went in there? Then my inner black lady responded, oh, hell no.
Oh, my God.
Get to where you are safe, child. Following the advice of the latter, I went inside and locked the door. As I began to calm down, I heard a knock from the inside of the new house's front door. It knocked 3 times as if asking for entrance. Then it knocked on my now locked door. So it's like in the house at this point. Shit, I thought. Being the aforementioned scaredy cat I am, I called my parents, who thought it was a person. My mom hugged me, and we walked inside the house, and I shit you not, the piece of wood hadn't been moved, and the dust around it was undisturbed. To recap, we just built this house, and it's haunted. Great.
That
like Robin
sucks.
said, that's really weird to have a house that's new and haunted. It just seems like redundant.
It's built on ancient Indian burial ground.
Or
and,
just a graveyard.
Haunted by a poltergeist.
Last story. This one is about how I got my brother back from the Weeping Angel prank. So my brother is a techie. He can fix anything and prides himself on his ability to do so. One Christmas, our parents got all 3 of us Kindle Fires. We were stoked. She had also loaded some games onto them, and a really popular game was called Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, gosh.
It was based on jump scares. If you ran out of power, music would play, and the screen would go black for a few seconds. Then one of the animatronics would do a jump scare. So I played it up to the point of the black screen and cried, I don't know what is wrong with this, and put the display in front of his face, and 2 seconds later he jumped back and was pissed at me for a week. Revenge is so sweet. You are both awesome, and you didn't deserve to be left out, Adam. You both helped me get through the sleepless nights and make me laugh. You were all the greatest, including Spooky Mom. Keep on creeping on. P.S. As I was writing this, I realized that someone changed my autocorrect, so every time I wrote fuck, it became duck. That's kind of funny. And that's why they were left in.
Thank you so much, Emanon, for donating 300 bits.
Indeed. And now there's only 400 hit points left on Ashley Meow Meow before she is no longer the stream boss. Just saying, everyone that listens to this in podcast form is like, what is he talking about? Maybe you should watch twitch.tv/Scaryish podcast or youtube.com/Scaryish Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and find out. Just saying. And one more time, thank you so much for sending in that email. Great stories. We appreciate it.
I just have the Friends theme song now in my head.
I'll be there for you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we'll be there for you at 6:30 Tuesdays.
I hate you so much. So before we move into our last homegrown horror, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we are back.
All right. So this next email
and final email of the show,
the episode, is titled "Another Round of Stories." Greetings once again. Greetings.
What
Hello.
Up? Thank you for sending us stuff.
Cameron here. You know, the guy with the super long UFO email.
I still think about that email. It's a great email.
I've been trying to write this email since the Bigfoot episode, and here it is. Almost Christmas. I'm either too busy or too lazy to get it done. I'll let y'all decide. This time, I'll be treating you lovely listeners with another super long email containing stories gathered from my father and his side of the family. First things first, though, I'm giving a shameless plug for my other favorite podcast, The Outer Limits,
Fair enough.
who we follow on Twitter and stuff like that. Moving on, my father's side of the family has quite the rich history, though I only have stories passed down from his mother's side, as his father was an orphan and really don't know his other immediate family. I'm beginning with a story from my maternal grandfather, Claude. Claude was a mountain of a man, easily standing 6'8". That's huge.
That's a big man.
And weighing well over 300 pounds, understandably. Born before the turn of the last century, as a young man, his main form of transportation was by horse. On his way home late one night, he decided to take a shortcut through the local cemetery. Almost as soon as he crossed the gate, a strong, sudden gust of wind blew his hat off, despite it being a still night. That scared him, so he proceeded to nope the fuck out, or whatever the equivalent late 19th century phrase would be. 1800s, what would you say?
1800s?
Yeah, how would you say nope the fuck out?
Oi!
Oh, get
the fuck out!
No, get out of here.
Nailed it. All I can think of for 1800s is how they talk in A Million Ways to Die in the West, which is not period accurate, but it's just exactly how we talk. So I think it would be nope the fuck out.
So forget the hat and gallop the rest of the way through the graveyard. Once he crossed the other threshold, slowed down, oh geez.
I'm what's for dinner. Asked a question, said quack quack.
Oh my god! If you don't know the reference, you guys gotta watch us live. Gotta get all them quacks and ducks in a row.
Actually, they do know the reference because the last email kept saying duck instead of fuck, and then referenced the fact that it was an autocorrect issue.
So
everyone in the channel has been saying, Jesus Christ, duck and ducking instead of the F word, like Glitchgrim, who just redeemed and asked a question. It says, this interruption ducks. Hashtag this pod ducks.
All right, so once he crossed the other threshold and slowed down, he suddenly felt his hat reappear back on his head.
What the fuck is that about?
It teleported. I don't know. Maybe he imagined that it flew off, but it didn't actually fly off.
Or maybe he has some sort of telekinetic displacement powers and he returned it to his own head and just scared himself.
It's like a magical item where it's like
Doctor Strange's cape?
Yeah. Or no. Like it's bonded to you, you know? So it's like
bind on pickup. Or bind on equip. Either way, he had it equipped.
You leave it somewhere, but it just disappears from where you left it, reappears on you, you know? Anyway.
Soulbound. That's what we're saying right now.
The second story comes from my maternal great-grandmother. One night, years after Claude's experience, he was away on business and his wife Nancy was home with the children. Home alone with the children. No, I didn't mean to say it super creepy. It's just I had to correct myself.
That did get kind of creepy there.
They suddenly heard a commotion happening outside of their house, along the sound of moans and groaning. Oh, God.
This is getting creepier at this point.
Being a superstitious and religious woman, and knowing it wouldn't be wise to put herself in danger, she locked up the house and turned out the lights and waited until it stopped. The next morning, she went outside and found a spot that had been dug up, and a wash tub that was sitting next to the hole. Inside the tub, there were round impressions of rust and dirt where hundreds of coins had been sitting in the tub, and buried. Men had come in the middle of the night to dig it up, and were making the noises to scare Nancy to keep her away. Interesting. My grandmother, my father's mother, didn't really have anything spooky happen other than the last story.
Shake and bake is redeemed to ask questions. I dropped my sandwich and don't have thumbs to pick it up. Help, quack quack.
Oh God. No, poor duckies. So my grandmother didn't really have anything spooky happen other than the last story about Nancy. However, there's a spiritual story here. She was a devout Christian, so devout I'm hard-pressed to think of anyone who believed like she did and could make you believe like she could. Her answer to everything was prayer. When she was a young girl, people would travel for miles just to have her pray for them.
Aww.
Her prayers seemed to have tangible and sometimes almost instant results. I'm not saying she was a faith healer or anything, but even though I question organized religion and claim to be agnostic, there was just something different about my grandmother and her prayers. We could tell when she was upset with my dad or anyone else in the family because things would seem to start falling apart until something was done to appease her. That's kind of funny. It's like my how my feelings are rules everyone's lives.
Right.
So you guys better make me happy, bitches, you know?
Otherwise, or else.
Her brother, Sydney, walked into a gas station one afternoon roughly 20 years ago. He found his items and went up to the counter to pay. He was confused when he realized that everyone was staring at him. Finally, the clerk behind the counter asked him, "How did you do that?" Further confused, Sydney asked, "Do what?" The clerk and several other people around him told him that as he was crossing the open dirt parking lot of the country station, a car came screaming off the road and into the lot. The car should have run right over Sydney, but instead he levitated 5 or 6 feet off the ground, then moved a few feet laterally over the car, then landing gently on his feet.
And didn't notice that he did that?
So he was walking across the lot, some car comes in, is gonna hit him, he jumps up, not even jumps up, he
Levitates,
floats up,
yeah.
and moves, and then lands on his feet and doesn't notice.
Sounds like someone moved him like a chess piece. They just picked him up and shifted him out of the way.
They told him that it was almost... Jesus.
Emanon has redeemed to ask a question that says, "That duck littered, send him to the Eastern State Penitentiary for 5 years. He could sell up with that dog."
Oh,
that's hilarious. That poor dog that got sentenced to jail.
All right, so they told him that it was almost as if he was picked up by a giant unseen hand, and Sydney didn't even realize it had happened. This could be bullshit, but this side of my family isn't known for their bullshitting, so I have an inclination to believe it. The one story that we do have from my grandfather is that his mother died in childbirth when my grandfather was around 3 years old, and about a year later, his father was murdered. What is this, like fucking Batman? That's
Wow.
insane.
He then fell into a cave and realized that he was the knight.
The Dark Knight. It was during Prohibition, and his father was a mechanic, which, if you didn't know, during Prohibition typically meant someone who wasn't afraid to get their hands dirty or ask too many questions when it came to illegal activities of all kinds.
I heard mechanic nowadays translates to hitman, but I learned that from the movie The Mechanic, which is about hitmen.
Okay, but usually with running alcohol. 2 men showed up to my great-grandfather's house and murdered him on his porch and in view of my 4-year-old grandfather. Yo, what the fuck? This is totally like...
Right? This is intense.
This is... It's like in an alley. He's coming out of the back of the opera house.
I just see pearls everywhere.
Pearls everywhere. My grandfather, raised by his grandmother, would later go on to never touch a drop of alcohol in his life and was, among other things, a respective chief deputy sheriff in the 70s and 80s. Nice.
That makes sense.
I mean, Bruce Wayne ended up being Batman.
God, stop referencing
distributing his
Batman.
own form of justice. We watched The Dark Knight this weekend, and
we didn't watch it. We watched the movie start, and we watched the movie end, and we napped in between.
But it's such a good movie, man. So good. Anyway, maybe that's why I have Batman on the brain. People who knew him never had a negative thing to say about him, and quite a few have told me they owe him their lives and freedom. Nice.
I hate when we do these vocal pauses, and there's a fucking motorcycle passing in the back. I'm What's for Dinner said hashtag Batman ducks.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
All right. One night, as a young boy, my father looked out his bedroom window to see a black, featureless face staring back at him. It was
terrifying.
It was basically a silhouette with eyes. I can't imagine opening a door and having something dark just right there, or a window and something dark is right there. You know what I mean? His parents and logic would say that it was just his reflection, but he distinctly remembers the face being above his head, so we had to look up to see it. If that wasn't scary enough, he was in an old Southern-style pier and beam house that sat at the top of a downward hill, so the bottom of that particular window was approximately 8 or 9 feet off the ground outside, despite being a single-story home. My dad has also seen several UFOs. The first he saw while camping with some friends as a young teen. He was lying in a hammock when he opened his eyes and saw a huge, round metal craft hovering just 100 feet or so above him, just over the treetops. It made no sound, and not long after, the thing sped away. This thing was not only seen by him, his several friends, and the adults with them, it was witnessed by probably a dozen or more campers in the area. It's hard to dispute something that so many people have seen.
Yeah, when there's a ton of witnesses, it's like, okay, well, it's not that they all imagine something. You have to start treating it like, what did everyone see, you know? Emanon redeemed and asked a question, said hashtag motorcycles duck. Fuck motorcycles. Hashtag duck motorcycles.
The second happened when he was traveling with his band back in the 70s. Ooh, that one's new.
Midnight Bumblebee has hosted us with one viewer.
Oh my God,
thank you so much, Midnight Bumblebee. We appreciate that.
The second happened when he was traveling with his band back in the 70s. He was driving one night when he noticed a bright light in the rear view mirror.
This guy's a band, and he's touring. Hashtag this dude ducks.
At first, he thought it was a car and it was catching them on the road. Then they realized it was moving a lot faster than a car and was above them, so they thought it could be a small airplane. The light zipped past over their car and off into the horizon, and did so silently, which we all know would be impossible if it were an airplane. Yeah, I could see that. Airplanes take off really close to school, because my school's right by the airport. And so you see the airplane, and it's just like right there, and they are so loud. And I can't imagine if it were an airplane that it would ever be silent. It's just impossible. There's no way.
I used to work at Town Square in Las Vegas, which is like right by the Strip, which means it's right by the airport. It's this like outdoor mall, and we used to have instances where we'd have to do like recording audio, and if you wanted to do like a video, you always had to record your audio after the fact. We had one day where someone had to record audio and they weren't able to get into the office because they forgot their badge. It was like a weekend, so they were sitting in the parking lot trying to record it like on their cell phone in their car, and the fucking planes just kept passing overhead, and they were trying to do this like long ass voiceover, and they had to break it apart into a bunch of different pieces because they kept getting like overhead. It was hilarious. McShagan Baker redeemed asked a question, says they weren't planes, Robin, they were ducks.
The third was seen when he lived in the high country in Colorado. He was coming home one afternoon. Oh my God, that motorcycle was so loud.
I hate them all. I hate them all, unless you're a listener and you like motorcycles, in which case I like you. But everyone that lives nearby here, I fucking hate them all.
A motorcycle scared me the other day because it drove by and it was just like... Yeah, I thought I hit someone. But it was just a stupid motorcycle. Okay.
The most accurate representation to me of what folks who do the stupid revving of their fucking engines
episode
through a
of South
residential...
Park?
Goddamn right! Is that episode of South Park, especially when the guy's pissing at the urinal and no one's paying attention to him, and he's just like... with his fucking mouth. Like, it's just so fucking unnecessary. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. Please continue.
He was coming home one afternoon, and he and his helper both spotted a large object high in the atmosphere. He says the thing was shaped like a cigar or a pencil, sharpened on both ends. All right. I'm trying to imagine. It's like just a long, pointy log, right?
It's like a log that has points at each end.
All right. This object...
Emanon says, I'm a biker, Adam. Sad face. I love you. I don't think you'd blaze through a residential area and just fucking crank it at 1 a.m. She's laughing because I say crank it, and when I usually say crank it, I mean jerking it. I meant the throttle in this case.
The object... All I can think of is cranking it now. Damn it. Okay.
You shouldn't drive through a residential area at 1 a.m. just jerking it in your car really loud.
Stop talking.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Okay. This object was also supposed to have been reported to be seen by several hundred people in the area. I've been looking for any kind of official report of this one, and if I find one, I will update you. Nice,
right on.
Thank you. The most recent was similar to the thing I described in my last email as, quote-unquote, the predator. He was standing on the back porch of the house one night when he saw it. The thing was like something cut a triangular piece out of the sky and moved it. This thing also made no sound as it moved at a great speed across the sky. Instead of just a glimpse, like I saw, he was able to watch the thing for several seconds. Jesus.
Shout out to M. Meadows, who just resubscribed using Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscription for the 15th month. 15 times 5 is numbers. Pretty sure it's 55, 65?
I don't know.
75? Fuck, man. I thought my math was better than it actually is. 55, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah. And Emanon says, no, Adam, I don't do that after dark.
You're a good person. Why can't I figure out what 15 times 5 is? Holy shit. 75. It's 75? No.
Are you sure?
Yes? No, yes. No, yes. No, yes. No. Okay, yes. Yes. 75. 75 Jeff Bezos' dollars have been taken away by M. Meadows and given to us. Can't believe it took me that fucking long to figure out what 15 times 5 was. I am tired.
That subscription took, like, nothing out of McShake and Bake's HP at the top there.
It took 300 off of McShake and Bake's HP,
God.
which for a normal man would be a lot. But for McShake and Bake, it's like shooting a mountain with a fucking BB gun.
What is the line from The Holy Grail? 'Tis but a flesh wound.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
All right.
I'm invincible. I fucking love that movie.
I've saved this best story for last. When he was around 16 years old, he and his 3 cousins were walking down a road in a relatively rural part of Louisiana. They noticed a figure of someone standing under a streetlight. Sorry, right. It reminds me of the episode of SpongeBob.
I hate you.
Someone's...
so much.
They noticed a... Fuck.
They noticed a fuck.
No.
Just like that episode of SpongeBob.
They noticed a figure of someone standing under a streetlight just ahead. It was hard to tell in the dark, but they could see that it was a very large man. Oh my god.
Fitzo Tricks has followed us over there on Twitch.
Thank you
so much,
That
Fitzo
sound
Tricks.
is a sound that's super scary.
My bad. Fritz O'Tricks. I fucked that up. It's Fritz O'Tricks, and they followed us on Twitch.
Thank you. They noticed a figure of someone standing under a streetlight just ahead. It was hard to tell in the dark, but they could see that it was a very large man, about 7 feet tall. As they get a little closer, they see that instead of clothing, he's covered in long, shaggy, gray-brown hair. Yep, my dad claims to have seen Bigfoot. When the
Holy shit.
When the creature noticed them, it turned and walked into the tree line, and they could hear it following them just inside the woods for a couple miles.
That's fucking scary.
After a deputy sheriff told them to go home, they could no longer hear the creature walking, and they went straight home. That's all I have for now, but it isn't everything my family members have experienced, so I'll write again eventually. I won't apologize for this being so long, because long is what I do. I hope everyone enjoyed, and until next time, Coco, keep on creeping on. K-O-C-O. That's kind of pretty cute.
I didn't realize that's what it could be.
Yeah, Cameron. Thank you so much, Cameron.
Thank you for sending it in. We appreciate it. Long is fine, as long as there's a reason for it to be long, and they almost always have a reason, and they're almost always good. I think they're actually always good. I just don't want to jinx it. Fuck me, dude. What is wrong with my face hole today?
Your face hole?
Just don't want to jinx it. I'm just going to leave that in there. I don't even give a shit anymore.
Oh my god.
But thank you so much for sending that in, Cameron. We sincerely appreciate it. And any of you who have stories like that, please don't forget to send them in as well. I don't know. That's a lot of stuff within your family. My family's the same way. I feel like everyone has similar things that have happened, but slightly different as well. Everyone shares their stories with each other, and it's always kind of creepy. So thank you for compiling them and sending them our way.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you to everybody who joined us live. You guys can join us live, too, every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Scaryish podcast or youtube.com/Scaryish. High five.
Jinx, make out with me. That was really good. Oh, no, it's a reaction. What the fuck?
Anyway, yeah, so hopefully you guys join us for our next live shows, and we love reading these homegrown horrors to you. So if you folks have your own homegrown horrors, feel free to reach us out, or reach out to us at
Storytime at Scaryish.com. You can also go to Facebook.com/Scaryish Podcast and message us there. You can go to Twitter, which is at Scaryish Pod, or Instagram at Scaryish Podcast. You can also go to Scaryish.com, which is our website. Click on Contact Us, and you can send it to us that way, which means you don't have to use an email address or go to any of those social medias. However, we do suggest that if you go over to Facebook, you join the Spooky Friends group, which is a really fun group. We share tons of memes. Everyone's really supportive of each other. And also, if you go to Scaryish.com, click on the Discord link and join our Discord. I think we're over 300 members now, or we're right around there. It's really fun. It's a really active community. It's amazing to see. And I'm just really, really happy with that fucking subwoofer that just blew past our house and shook our goddamn walls.
God.
I hate the fact that so many people
womp, womp, womp.
drive by and they're like, I want to be as loud as possible to people that are living in their own homes right now. I'm sure they're just hoping to hear some fucking bass.
You know, anyways, I'm all about that bass.
I hate you so
much. No trouble.
For those of you who would like to donate monetarily, Robin is about to tell you how you can do that.
first, I'm going to read this highlighted message here. You guys are all awesome. Love you, Adam and Robin. Cutting out. Jeez, that scared the hell out of me.
Emanon redeemed and asked a question. Said, hey, at least it wasn't another motorcycle. Very true.
Cutting out. Good night. See you next week. Thank you so much, Emanon. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us.
You can donate to us at patreon.com/Scaryish podcast.
Are you pausing for effect there?
No, I was trying to remember what it was. I say it every week, and it's really hard sometimes. My brain doesn't work. But those are monthly donations. There are a whole bunch of different tiers you can check out, range from $1 and up. And then there's coffee, ko-fi.com/Scaryish podcast. Those are one-time donations, and all those donations go to help us upgrade our studio setup. And so many of you folks have donated to us and helped us throughout these couple years that we've been up and running. And we've been able to upgrade from our dinky little GoPro to an actual video camera. And our
$20 microphones
we've
actual professional microphones.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
And from the laptop that's currently behind me that ran the show for like a year and a half
to an actual
PC,
yeah.
Which I would not have been able to get without you wonderful human being. Shout out to Ulrich, McShake and Bake Glitch. Those are the three off the top of my head that donated to that specific fund, but anyone who donated to coffee as well definitely helped us out. So thank you so much to everyone who supports us by listening, following us in our social medias, commenting in the community, being a ghost listener. Whatever you do, we feel that support, and we absolutely love you for it. And I think that is just about everything we have for Storytime episode 106. So, Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.